Hey guys, welcome to another movie review here on Midnight Suns. Today we're gonna be taking a look at the latest movie in the Creed and Rocky franchise, and that is of course Creed 3. And since we are talking about the best movie boxing franchise in the world, I figure this is a good time to bring out the big guns. I'm just kidding. That's so stupid. Creed 3 tells the story of our protagonist Adonis Creed and his childhood best friend Damian Anderson, who finally gets released from prison after 18 years of incarceration. Like Adonis, Damian is also an extremely skilled boxer, and now that he is finally out of prison, he has a chip on his shoulder and he's coming for everything that Adonis has spent the past 2 decades of his life building. And he's willing to do whatever it takes to become a boxing world champion. The story is simple, but it is still interesting enough and filled with twists and turns that will keep you on your feet for its near 2-hour runtime. The drama and the character dynamics between Adonis and Damian are just so brilliant and nuanced and realistic, and you really feel the brotherhood that these two characters share, as well as the conflict that arises from their different mentalities and approaches to life. Whenever these two characters are on screen at the same time, you can feel the tension and electricity between the both of them. And that is only possible because Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors brought those characters to life so perfectly with their fantastic acting performances. Michael B. Jordan once again brings so much fire and charisma to his character of Adonis Creed, and his constant underdog fighting spirit is something that you can't help but be attracted to, and it is so magnetic and you are always going to be rooting for the guy because he's always trying his best no matter what. And I love that he doesn't just succeed at everything he does, he often fails a lot, even in this movie. But the reason he's able to succeed is because he never gives up. He really captures the original fighting spirit of Rocky. The attitude that it isn't how hard you can hit, but how hard you can get hit and still get back up and keep moving forward. That's something that I think all of us can relate to a lot in life. And it's such a powerful message, and that's why you can't help but keep rooting for the guy. But okay, now let's talk about the antagonist in this film. His best friend, Damian Anderson, who is of course played by the amazing Jonathan Majors. Guys, Jonathan Majors is an absolute freaking superstar. And if his fantastic performance in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania didn't convince you of that, then let me tell you, his performance in this movie almost definitely will. Even though he's the bad guy and he is driven by anger and jealousy, you can't help but root for the guy because you can understand his pain and his desire to reclaim all the time that was stolen from him while he was in jail for 18 long years. And that is why he invents time travel and becomes Kang the Conqueror by the end of the movie. Okay, I'm kidding. But it would totally make sense if his character in this movie was a variant of Kang from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But anyway, let's get back to talking about his performance in this movie. Just like Michael B. Jordan, he brings so much charisma and screen presence to his character. And even when the movie ended after 2 hours, I felt like I could have easily watched another hour of these two men just fighting with one another. The conflict between them is just so great, and the supporting cast in this movie was great as well. Shout out to Tessa Thompson, who once again nails her character and shares such great on-screen chemistry with Michael B. Jordan, just like in the previous 2 Creed movies. I will say though, Sylvester Stallone's absence is definitely felt in this movie, and I know he had a falling out with the studio, but I do wish they would have found some way to have him appear in the movie, because Adonis Creed only became the man he is thanks to Rocky, and not having Rocky in this movie definitely left a void in the cast of characters. But alright, let's talk about how fantastic this movie looks. I watched it in IMAX and it was absolutely brilliant. This movie was shot for IMAX and you can definitely tell that it was shot for IMAX. The cinematography is just gorgeous, and I particularly love all the action scenes, especially all those slow motion shots in the boxing scenes that are just absolute perfection. The boxing fights are choreographed and framed so well that you feel the speed and brutality of the sport. I love how in the middle of these intense brutal boxing fights, they'll just suddenly slow down and cut to those close-up slow motion shots of a character's eyes as he's looking at his opponent across the ring, and then they'll cut to a close-up of one of his opponent's body parts like his arm or his stomach, and you can just instantly tell that the character is looking to capitalize on the enemy's weakness by targeting that particular body part. I know this is something that's done in a lot of other movies as well, but I feel that it is just so brilliantly done in this movie, and it really portrays the ring psychology of the boxers so perfectly. And now let's talk about the sound in this movie. The score and soundtrack is once again great, as they always tend to be in Rocky and Creed movies. You get these great training montages with absolutely fire music that is sure to get your blood pumping. The training montage scenes in this franchise tend to be some of the most memorable scenes in all of cinema history, and the training montage scenes in this movie do not disappoint. They definitely live up to that legacy. I think there are plenty of good music tracks in this film for anybody looking to add songs to their gym or running playlist. The sound effects in this movie were great too. You can really feel the impact of all the punches in the boxing fights through the sound effects alone, and I have absolutely no complaints in that department. The sound in this movie was just really well done all around. And well, it is now time to give this movie a final score. I am giving this movie an amazing 9 out of 10. This is easily the best movie I've seen so far this year, and I highly recommend it for anybody who is a fan of the Rocky and Creed franchise, or even just a fan of boxing or sports films in general. This movie has a really strong message because it portrays the resilience and competitive nature of the human spirit so well. And that is something that I rarely find reflected that well in other sports movies. But it is something that tends to be captured so perfectly in these Rocky and Creed movies. And I think if you need to watch a movie to cheer yourself up or get motivated, then this movie is the one for you. The story is great, the performances are spectacular, the whole movie looks and sounds amazing, and I just absolutely love it. And that's all for this movie review, guys. If you like what you saw, please do consider subscribing. We are just a small underdog channel, so supporting our channel with a subscription would be like supporting Rocky. But jokes aside, really any subscription would really help us a lot. Thanks, guys. And if you've watched this movie before, please go down into the comments below and let us know what you thought. And once again, thank you for watching and stay gold, everybody. Bye bye.